Hey guys, it's Ciara Noelle, blogger of Majestic Culturista and podcast host of Just What It Is. So today I'll be talking to an artist by the name of Little Spiral. She is a singer, songwriter, and is on a mission to get people to stop, reflect, and go deeper into what it means to be human in an increasingly digital world. She wants to do this through music, writing, art, and code itself. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Little Spiral. Hey, Little Spiral, thank you so much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so happy to have you here, and I can't wait to talk to you about some of your music. But before we dive into any of your music, I want to get to know you a little bit more. So where are you from?
Good question. Originally born in the Bay Area, moved around a bit, but raised in the Central California and Central Valley region. I'm now back in the Bay and now looking to move to California, to Los Angeles. But I've been native Californian, born and raised native Californian, just kind of.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So tell me about your move. Why are you moving?
I'm moving to Los Angeles to kind of level up on my songwriting career. One thing that I have been really excited about is I write a lot of music. I write a lot of songs, and to have the opportunity to write for other people, with other people, have my songs have a home, even outside my Little Spiral superhero music, is really exciting because Little Spiral is very much like indie alt rock piano kind of driven music, but I keep writing like EDM and pop and country. Like I keep writing all of these different songs that don't really fit with what I do with Little Spiral. So that's the big move to LA that I'm really excited about.
Well, that's so awesome. So what's your favorite genre to write songs?
Ooh, favorite. Well, every single genre has its own different approach, which is exciting. Like for EDM, it's usually a producer will send a track and I do more top lining. So that would mean I'm writing the lyrics and the melody on top of their already produced track, which leaves a lot of it takes a lot of pressure off that I don't have to write the whole thing. It allows me to be a little more fun and a little more, creative in a certain way. With country, it's really all about storytelling and getting into that storytelling mode, which I also really love. Country also, because it's so lyrically driven, you're allowed to do a little more wordplay, you're allowed to do a little more this and that.
Yeah.
And then pop is just really fun. I write those, from the ground up, just figuring out how to bring out something that's fun and energetic, but also like thoughtful and meaningful, which is
thought-provoking.
Yeah, that's kind of my MO. I like to put everything in a thought-provoking way. Not that there's anything wrong with, just like, hey, Mr. DJ, nothing wrong with any of that. Those are fun. But the kind of thing I really enjoy doing is lyrically driven, thought-provoking, interesting music. Yeah,
definitely.
my MO.
So how do you go about writing lyrics that's relevant for this time?
Whew, great question. There's both, especially for this time, like there's a number of times we're going through. It seems like we're living through like several years at once, right? There's the coronavirus, but then there's also like all the racial injustice, and then there's all of this, and there's all of that. Like all of these are being mixed.
Yeah.
And like for some things, I choose not to go too far into it, and some of them I go all the way into it. I don't like being incredibly like obvious. I have yet to write a song about the coronavirus, but I have a lot of songs about just inequality and injustice and stuff that I keep in my in my song bank,
Mhm.
and that fuels a lot of what I do as well. But like, how do I keep writing? Like, it's so interesting because I have such a backlog. Like, I have about a couple hundred songs that I've written, but I have
Oh,
thousands and
wow.
thousands of ideas, and I have such a big fat backlog that I can go in and do some searches in my song notes and
Mm.
find little pieces that I can start stitching together. So I am never out of ideas, ever.
You're always creating.
Yes, I have too many ideas, which is why I'm like, I'm gonna move to LA and have some other people get in on the fun because I
Right.
have so many ideas.
Like, hey, I need these people over here to help me out with this idea here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
So who is Little Spiral? What's the story behind your superhero name?
Oh gosh, Little Spiral. I tend to look at the intersection of technology and humanity a lot. And Little Spiral reminds me to kind of get back to the basics. So Little Spiral is, I mean, I could tell you all the facts. She's a piano player, she's a singer, she sometimes plays violin,
Oh,
she
wow.
writes weird, quirky, intelligent, sometimes nerdy songs. A friend a friend of mine once
I love
described
it.
it as if Tori Amos wrote songs about robots, that would be me. And so I like to just think about deep shit. And and sometimes they come out in songs and sometimes it comes out in like I also have a bit of a snarky sense of humor, so sometimes that comes out. And yeah, Little Spiral has been um in existence since 2014
Oh,
and
wow.
has written a few songs, more than a few songs. I've gotten some attention from some um, bigger folks, like been fortunate to get the support of Ben Folds, who's
Oh,
an industry veteran for a number of years. And yeah, just moving forward with whatever my muse says, that's what Little Spiral is.
okay. So it sounds like Little Spiral has grown over the years.
This spiral is now a medium-sized spiral, and soon she is going to be a pretty effing big spiral.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to see Little Spiral grow into Big Spiral.
Yes.
So what inspires Little Spiral as an artist?
Mm. Um, Again, I think it's just the everything that I do kind of comes down to how do we still be human in this increasingly digital world? And there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of things that you can write about and
Mhm.
explore, and it encompasses everything from your day to day to relationships to big existential thoughts. I
Mhm.
think the reason I like the spiral image is because you can zoom in, and it's still a spiral. But you
Mm.
can zoom out and out and out and out and out, and it's still a spiral.
Mm.
So I
I
kind of
see
like
that.
the big and the small. Like I'll write about the small stuff, but I'll write it's really more. If I do write about really small stuff, it's more of a reflection of the bigger stuff.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, all of that inspires me. Just everyday stuff inspires me. I'll be walking out in my neighborhood and all of a sudden an idea comes to me and I have to like pull out my phone and record
Yeah, write
it.
it out.
Yeah. So I can't say there's one particular place that I'm inspired from. I just absorb it all and go, if anything, it would be that's an interesting thing I just saw on the street. That's a metaphor for something bigger. Then I get
Yeah.
nerdy
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
I write
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
I love that metaphor that you just used too. Like no matter what situation, it sounds like no matter what situation Little Spiral finds herself in, it always comes back to she's a spiral and here's the bigger
Mm,
picture. She can be big, she can be medium, she can be small, but she's still a spiral.
Exactly.
I love
Exactly. I
that.
like that.
I love
Cool.
it. So, what inspired you to come up with concerts for introverts?
Well, it did get born out of the pandemic, out of necessity.